With the invention of the removable chin bar, it has arguably changed the game for mountain biking helmets forever. And with each generation, it gets a little better. Enter the Bell Super Air R. But is it really better? Let's find out. Hey y'all, welcome to Lone Star MTB. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Bell Super Air R and how it compares to the original Bell Super 3R. So let's get this guy unboxed and get started. Once you've unboxed it, you'll see that it comes with this plastic package with these little goodies in it. You'll find the owner's manual, a Bell sticker, replacement cheek pads, as well as a new and updated GoPro mount. As you can see, it looks slightly different in person than it does online. Online, you can see that the removable chin bar looks like it's a darker colored gray. In person, it is not a different color. It is all one uniform color, and it is all this kind of a space gray or a lunar gray, I guess is what you could call it. But it is all, in fact, one color, and it has a matte finish. However, the Bell stickers on the chin bar itself are a glossy finish and do stand out and pop from the helmet just ever so slightly. One of the most obvious differences is going to be in the venting holes. You can see how much larger they are in comparison to the 3R. The Air, they're a lot longer and larger in general. And you can see the back of the helmet, how it's intended for air to get pulled in through the front and then exhausted out the rear. You can even see that in the chin bar on the Air. It's got this raised, it looks like a scoop almost. And I can only imagine just how much better that's going to pull air into the helmet versus the 3R, which they're just flat. There's nothing really, it's more of just, it allows, air to kind of come in and out, but it doesn't really channel it through the helmet like it's going to do on the Air. I'm really excited to see how that's going to feel on the trail. They also changed the visor on the Air as well. If you have a 3R, then you're familiar with these tabs on either side of the visor that you would tighten them and loosen them, and then that would determine how difficult or easy it was to raise and lower the visor. On the Air, they've eliminated those altogether. There's no screws or anything like that, and they've kind of simplified it really. But it's gone from this infinitely movable, adjustable visor to now it's a 3-position visor. So you have 3 different positions that you can put it in and no longer have to deal with these screws on the side. The way that the chin bar locks and unlocks from the helmet is another big change for the Air from the 3R. For anyone who has the 3R, I'm sure you guys can relate. It's a nightmare trying to find the lock, especially with a gloved hand. But then if you are fortunate enough to actually find the lock, to actually have a thumb work its way underneath there and finally get it unlocked is pretty difficult. So not only on the Air did they address that issue, but they also eliminated one of the buckles. So you have a buckle in the back and a buckle on either side of the temple in the 3R. Well, on the Air, they eliminated the buckle in the very back. So now you only have 2 locks that you have to fiddle with. And the 2 locks that are remaining, they elevated them and actually protrude away from the helmet to give yourself a much easier time to, one, find them, and then they've also made it easier to get your thumb underneath it to get it unlocked. They've put an actual indent into the helmet to give your thumb that much more room. This is going to be so much easier to lock and unlock with a gloved hand. I'm excited about that too, because I use the removable chin bar a lot on these helmets. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. That's going to be a super nice feature to have. We've pretty much covered all the bases on the outside of the helmet, so let's take these chin bars off and we'll take a closer look on the inside of the helmet. We'll look at the 3R first, that way you can see the change. So here is the chin strap, and here is this little rubber band basically that keeps all this additional material from flopping around and whatnot. Now on this, when I would sweat pretty heavily, this would actually start to get a little weight to it, and it would dangle down and it would actually irritate my neck throughout the course of a long day of riding. On the Air, they did this. They shortened it, and it has, they sewed up the end of it so that it's not dangling and whatnot, and they put a larger retainer, I guess is what you would call it, to help keep all of this extra material under control, and with it being shorter, it's not going to be dangling down and irritating your neck. The MIP system and the new Air has gotten a big update as well. Here you can see the difference in how the previous 3R moves in comparison to the new Air. The 3R's movement is more of like a sliding motion, whereas with the Air, it's more of a rotational movement. With the helmet on my head, you can feel how it grabs a hold of your head, and then when you actually move the helmet, you can see that it's just the outer shell that actually moves. The inside of the shell remains completely it's not moving, it's not sliding, it's nothing like that. You have all of this side-to-side rotational movement in this new helmet with this new MIP system. Now, you had some movement with the previous MIP system, but not to this level. This is going to dramatically improve the likelihood of not getting concussions and other traumatic head injury and things like that. Speaking of crashes, this is actually a crash replacement for me. My original Bell Super 3R I was wearing, and I face planted into the base of a transition. Here, check this picture out to see the aftermath. If you look on the Bell helmet, you can see this star pattern. That's what was actually imprinted and tattooed onto my forehead. And thankfully, the helmet I was wearing, which was a Bell Super 3R, did its job. The MIPS did what it was supposed to do. All the styrofoam and whatnot, it gave where it was supposed to give, and it probably kept me from literally being paralyzed. It was a really, really nasty crash, and it's to date the worst crash I've ever had. So whatever you do, buy a helmet that's got a quality MIP system in it. One thing that did not change with these two helmets is they both still have the same type of X-static liner on the inside. That's basically where they put some sort of a material in it that keeps it from getting all funky and bacteria and things like that. So it's still the same X-static liner. But what's different is on the Air, they now added this feature here, which is supposed to help channel the sweat from the rest of the helmet and pull it to right here. So it's like a brow sweat bar pretty much. So whenever you start sweating something fierce like we do here in Texas, all that sweat's going to gather at the front, and you'll just push on the helmet up against your head and make it rain. Also, the ratchet system itself looks pretty much unchanged. Its attachment points are a little different from the 3R to the Air, but the actual ratchet itself, it looks to me exactly the same. I will say though, on the Air, it feels new and crisp and things like that, and it could be that's why it's louder in comparison to the other one, this helmet I've had for a year or so. Now with my Super 3R, I've had that helmet or a version of that helmet for probably close to 2 years. And I've gotten really good and pretty fast at being able to take it off and put it on and things like that. I wonder if it's probably going to take practice for this too, but we'll give it a try anyway. Yeah, I think when I get accustomed to it, this is not going to be difficult to do. It's going to be just as easy and probably quicker even by not having that extra buckle back here in the back. Here's what it looks like with goggles on. And with this square piece here and the color and stuff, I feel like I look like an Imperial Scout from Star Wars. So there you have an in-depth look at the new Super Air R and how it compares to the 3R. I'm really excited to get this new helmet out on the trail and experience all the creature comforts that they designed into it. Now I will say, if you have a perfectly good 3R at home and it's treated you well and it's still in good shape, I would ride it until it's time to replace it, and then look into the new Air if that's in your budget. At $275, it's not cheap, and neither is the 3R. But luckily, you can still find these guys online for sale relatively easily. So with that being said, if you're in the market, definitely check out the Air. If you're not, ride what you got, man. If you found the video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That helps other people find the channel and the information contained within it. So with that being said, y'all, I hope to see you on the next ride.